Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Not Qualified. From 1994 to 1999 I worked second shift maintenance at a slaughter plant. The supervisor for the first shift got mad about me repairing some of the instruments that went down during my shift. He told my supervisor that I wasn't qualified to do repairs. I had been doing these repairs for 3 or 4 years, so I just started placing tags on the broken instruments. The tags would have things like "Production says this stopped," "Broken," when that was all our production worker would say. "Production says this is no good." At the start of first shift one day, they were totally out of one instrument and had to repair enough to get started for the day. The first shift manager stayed late and I was called into a meeting. They asked me why all these instruments weren't getting repaired. I just reminded the first shift supervisor that he said I wasn't qualified as a repair tech for any of the production instruments. I was told to go back to repairing any instrument that I knew I could, so production didn't falter. The next story is called Wait for a Manager. I work at a store that sells kitchen appliances and other kitchen related stuff. Normally, when we are supposed to leave or go on break, we are supposed to tell our manager. I was helping a long line at cash and had already been there for 8 hours and assumed they had someone to cover me. I wasn't allowed to use the walkies to ask to be covered to go home, so I quickly found my manager and told her my shift was done. She got really angry at me and said, "Could you really not stay a few more minutes?" I tried to tell her I thought you had someone to cover me. I can stay if you want. She then replied, No, just go. But next time you need to wait for a manager to let you go home. Record scratch. This was never a rule. I asked other people who've worked there for years and they agreed that it wasn't a rule. I worked again a few days later and the store was empty, my shift was over and I was about to ask to go home. But then I remembered what my manager told me. Cue malicious compliance. I continued to wander the store and slightly fix shelves, making sure I was near my manager. After about 2.5 hours, she said, "You're still here, why haven't you gone home?" I replied, "You said I need to wait to be told to go home." My manager looked at me as though she was mentally kicking herself. "Just go," she said. I clocked out and that's how I got paid an extra $30 for doing literally nothing. The third story is called Thanks for the Advice. My wife and I, like many other Americans, are beleaguered under the for-profit medical insurance industry. My wife gave birth to our precious first daughter in September of 2021. And we have been dealing with taking the little one to the doctor and whatnot when we received a bill for the L&D at the hospital from September. We were charged over $20,000 for a straightforward regular delivery with an epidural. Even though I do not like our insurance, it covered a huge chunk of the amount due. That being said, there were still over $2,000 left. Well, with my wife being a teacher and myself being a state government worker, our income isn't exactly low, but neither is it high either. $2,000 out of pocket would put us into major debt. The hospital was very patient at first with trying to get paid, until recently. I had been in communication with the hospital, trying to negotiate the cheapest amount possible to clear the account. The hospital still wanted close to half of the amount in order to close the account. I countered with what we could legitimately offer and consigned myself to the addition of yet another auto debit coming out of our bank account because they weren't going to accept my offer. But then the account representative kept interrupting me during the phone call and was being outrageously rude. I understand that we have a debt and I'm not trying to rage on it. But don't treat me like dirt because of this poor system that was charging my wife over $50 for one frigging Advil amongst other insanity. The account representative continued being nasty during the call and derisively suggested maybe I should go to the financial assistance program. So I did. I called the customer service line for that said program and in less than 10 minutes I was getting confirmation of the entire amount being forgiven. Apparently, when you make less than 300% of the federal poverty rate and you go to the most non-profit hospitals, they will forgive the amount. The arrogant account representative tried to shame me into paying an outrageous price for services rendered and didn't want to accept my offer of paying some of the bill. So now they get absolutely nothing. Don't accept the medical bills that you receive. Fight tooth and nail to get it down, and if you are lucky like my wife and I, you just may get it all cleared away. The last story is called Mr. Bigshot. This happened in 2008. At the time I was working for a direct mail company that also had a 17-foot Canon color laser printer so we could do specialty print jobs. I had been in marketing for 15 years at this point, and while I wasn't a graphic designer, I knew enough to have intelligent conversations with real designers. A quick graphic design lesson. When designing for printed products, you can't put anything behind your photos or graphic elements. That is, if you stick a blue background behind a photo, your printer thinks it's supposed to print the photo and the background. The photo will look like it's at the bottom of a swimming pool. To avoid this, you have to cut out a box the size of the photo, called a knockout, and put the photo inside the box. That way you don't print the blue background under the photo. Got it? Anyone who understands how to design for print knows that one simple trick. I had a marketing agency as a new client, and my contact was the son of the owner, and he thought he was the hots. It took everything I had not to roll my eyes whenever I met with him. We'll call him Johnny Bigshot. Mr. Bigshot wanted 500 brochures for a big real estate agency client. It was only $250, so not a very big job. No problem, I said. Does your graphic designer know how to design for print? Oh, sure, she just graduated from college and has a degree in graphic design. Sure, but most people don't print things anymore, so most designers don't learn it. So, are you sure she knows how to design for print? Mr. Bigshot assured me that yes, his designer was also the hots and knew her stuff. So, when you get her file, just print out the order. Don't mess with it. At all, he said. I rolled my eyes in the car so hard I saw the back of my skull. The file the designer sent over had large black polka dots as a background on the entire page, with a large red box in the middle. My production manager showed me the sample, and, you guessed it, the black polka dots showed through the red box. Should I fix this? Asked the production manager. Oh, no, I said, smiling. Johnny Bigshot was very specific about not messing with it. I told her about Bigshot's designer, and she crackled with evil delight. She printed the job, and our delivery driver delivered it the same day. A few hours later, I got an angry phone call from Johnny Bigshot demanding my presence at the agency. I showed up, and there's Johnny Bigshot, white-knuckle clutching one of the offending brochures. What the heck is this? He demanded, pointing up to make this whole thing my fault. I know, I said. It looks bad, doesn't it? You are goddamn right it does. Why does it look like this? I paused, took a breath, and said, do you remember when I kept asking whether your designer knew how to design for print? Yeah. And you told me that she absolutely, without question, understood all that? Yeah. He wasn't sure where this was going, but he wasn't liking it. Well, she doesn't. Because people who know how to design for print know that you never put a background behind other graphic elements. They know you need a knockout behind the photo. Yeah, but... And we didn't fix the problem on our end because you told us to absolutely not touch it at all. Yeah, but... If you'd like, we can rerun the job for you, and even though it was your error... He gave a pained gurgle. We'll rerun the job for half the cost. Half? Exclaimed Johnny Bigshot. My boss wanted to charge you the full amount, but I talked him into half for you. He didn't. I hadn't. Just have your designer fix the problem and resend it, and we'll get it done for you tomorrow. We could have fixed the error, but I wanted the hotshot designer to learn how to fix her own error, so she didn't make it again. She fixed it, reran the job early the next morning, and I hand-delivered it to the client myself by lunchtime. Our client was happy, their client was happy, and they always gave us print-ready work from then on. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.